Welcome back to another Roblox Studio tutorial. We're going to continue with our mining system, and in today's video we're going to learn how to sell our resources after we collect them. So let's go ahead and take a look. So what I'm going to do first is just mine some materials. Okay, let me go ahead and go around and collect some materials now. And what I'm going to do now is head over to this green sell pad, and what it's going to do is going to take the materials that are stored in the leaderboard here, and it's going to convert them into cash, and that'll show up in a screen GUI down here at the bottom. And there we go. And if I go back to mine some more materials, and we'll just collect a few more this time. And if I go back to the sell pad, then it adds the money to it. Alright, let's go ahead and dive in and see how we can do this in Roblox Studio. Okay, so first I'm going to show you what you have to add to the game, and then we'll take a look at the scripting for it. The first thing that you're going to need is somewhere for the players to go to sell their materials. I just kept it simple and used a part. You're also going to need a screen GUI. To add that onto the screen, you want to look under the Explorer menu and find the section that says Starter GUI. Inside of the Starter GUI, you want to add a Screen GUI. And then inside of the Screen GUI, you want to add a text label. If you click on your text label, there's some different options you can change with it. So for example, down here under Background Color 3, this is where you can change the background color of the label. You can also scroll down a little bit more to see some of the different options. Under the text section, you can set the starting text, and I just did the $sign with the number 0. There's a lot of different options you can change with this, so just spend a few minutes and take a look at some of them. Okay, after you add your screen GUI, there's one more thing we have to add, and we're going to do this under the replicated storage. And what we're going to add under the replicated storage is a remote event. The reason we need this is we're going to be taking something that's stored in the server, which is the leaderboard information, and we're going to be sending that to the client side to appear on this GUI button. Okay, so that's all we have to add to the game, so let's go ahead and take a look at the scripts for this. We're going to start with the sell pad script, so I'm going to click on this part and take a look at the script. What we're doing for this script is first we're creating a reference for this part. We're defining a variable called cancel, and we're setting that equal to true. And we're also making another variable called money and setting that equal to 0. These next two lines here are part of the remote event setup. The rest of this is just a normal touch event setup. So we have a function that's connected with a touch event down at the bottom. Inside of the function, the first thing we're doing is finding the player. And then we're saying if we're able to find the player and cancel is true, then what we're going to do first is set that equal to false. The next section is how we're calculating the player's money. And we're doing that by taking a look at the leader stats for each individual item. So we'll take a look at how many rocks they have, how many iron they have, how many gold, and how many diamonds. And then what you can do at this point is assign different values for each one. In my case, for each iron that the player has, I'm going to give them $5. For each gold, it'll be $25, and then for each diamond, it'll be $100. Okay, after we calculate how much money they had based on the amount of materials, we're going to reset all their values back to 0. And then once we have that money variable calculated from doing this right here, then what we're going to do is we're going to send that value to the client side so that we can display it on the label. Okay, so now that we finished up with the sell pad, let's take a look at the script under the starter GUI. So this is a local script under the text label. And this one is actually pretty easy. So what we're doing up here is we're creating a reference for the label. This right here is set up for the remote event. And then our function, what it's doing, it's taking in the value money, which we defined on the other script, and it's setting the label's text to the $sign and then the value that's stored in money. And it's going to update this value every time the remote event happens, and we're triggering this remote event every time that the player sells their stuff. So every time that the player sells their stuff, it's triggering this remote event, and this remote event sends the value money over to the client side, and then we're using this script to take that value and display it on the label. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this in action one more time. I'm going to start by just mining some materials. Alright, so I'm going to take 1 diamond, 1 rock piece, and then I'll take 1 piece of iron. So before we sell it, if we take a look at it, we have 1 rock, so that'll get us $1. 1 piece of iron will get us $5, so we're up to 6 so far. And then 1 diamond is 100, so we should sell and get $106. And there we go. And if you want to pick different values for each resource, then you can do that by changing the numbers right over here. Alright, so this is going to be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for the next one.